What is going on, you guys? It is the MorganMan here with the MorganMan Sports Podcast here on the YouTube edition of the MorganMan Sports Podcast. Guys, I am going over, and you're reading the title right below me, Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, that's right, guys. I am going to start going over some college football for all you fans out there that enjoys football that is outside of the Atlanta Falcons or just the NFL in general. And again, I am a Georgia native myself, so I talk pretty much everything Atlanta sports, from the Atlanta Reign, which is esports, to the future Atlanta Call of Duty, the Call of Duty League team that will be coming in the 2020 season, and I think we'll get like a confirmation of who that is going to be during the offseason of the CWL. Falcons, now Georgia Bulldogs. I will be talking Atlanta Hawks very soon right here, guys. So I'm very excited for this, and I cannot wait to get into this video. So let's not waste no more time. Let's get into it. Alright, so the very first game is August 31st, and we are going to Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Yes, that's right. Georgia will be facing on Vanderbilt early in the season, to start off the season, actually, for the Bulldogs. For this one right here, guys, we pretty much have Vanderbilt's number. Jake Fromm is, I believe this is going to be his, kind of like his shaky game, almost like a Matt Ryan, where, you know, he's getting back into the groove. You know, this is our first game. You know, let's just have fun. You know, test some waters out, and, you know, let's just go on from there. So again, Georgia at Vanderbilt. I do have Georgia winning this one. As a matter of fact, guys, by a long shot, because Vanderbilt, it's just not that great of a team. I would be shocked if Vanderbilt did put up a fight, and it was a very close one. But still, Georgia at the end of the day will win this. Now, some of these I will just completely just skip over, but I will still say it and just, you know, move on from it, because really, you know, big powerhouse colleges like in Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia Bulldogs, we face some like no-name schools, and I don't get that. I mean, I would love to play all powerhouse schools like Oklahoma, Michigan State, just whoever. So the next opponent we got is Murray State. They will be in Athens on that beautiful Saturday at 4 p.m. Honestly, I see Murray State just getting blowed out in this one. No points allowed in Georgia. Honestly, I could see a 50-plus game right here. Arkansas State at Georgia on September 14th. I do see Georgia winning this one right here. This one is going to be a fascinating one, because Arkansas State, I've been listening to the Locked On SEC podcast, and Arkansas State is one of these sleeper teams that I believe is coming into the season and could also make an impact of how Georgia, you know, calls plays both offensively and defensively. But still, at the end of the day, Georgia will win this one, but it will be a very close race. Your primetime game will be Notre Dame at Georgia. So, back in 2017, we won against Notre Dame by 1 point, 20-19, where Georgia was ranked number 2 and Notre Dame was ranked 11. But now this year, Notre Dame will be at Georgia in Athens. So definitely this is going to be one for the ages to watch out for, because now Notre Dame is within the top 5 category of best college teams. So can they produce from last season? Do not look at the Clemson and Notre Dame semifinal playoff, because, you know, they just did not do nothing in that game. I'm sorry, but Notre Dame just was not in the game for that day. So I don't know if I just said it, but Georgia, I feel like will win this one, because we've been consistent about beating Notre Dame. Now, we don't face them like every season or nothing like that, but the past few times that I know of, we have beat Notre Dame. Georgia at Tennessee. Do I really have to explain this one? Georgia. South Carolina at Georgia. South Carolina's another sleeper team, guys. Again, Georgia right here is just all in all favors. Kentucky at Georgia. This one's going to be a close one. Kentucky always puts up a fight. I believe, honestly, that Kentucky will hand us our very first loss, in the season. Kirby Smart is freaking out. We're only now 5 more games away from an undefeated. Well, was 5 games away from an undefeated season. We're shooting for the moon and stars. We're going to be back in Atlanta facing Bama for the SEC title. And then we just come back to earth. We come back to earth. Kentucky beats us, not by like a tremendous amount. I'd say at least by 2 touchdowns. Georgia versus Florida. This is our redemption game in +2. It's a big rivalry game. It's at 3:30 in November. Actually, wow, I'm kind of shocked about that. Honestly, I figure it would have been at the Kentucky slot. But anyway, so Georgia versus Florida on November 2nd at 3:30 p.m. in Florida. Gainesville, Florida, to be exact. I see another L. I really do. I see another L here. I hate it, Georgia fans. Please do not DM me, threaten to kill me, or whatever like that. I do apologize, but we're still stuck on that loss against Bama, and we're reliving it, and we relived it against Florida here. Now, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I like it whenever I'm wrong sometimes. But Florida, to me, honestly, they're looking for that dub because they've been in the shadows for so long now, and it's time for them to shine, according to them. And I think they could pick up the win over Georgia. But again, it's going to be a very close game by at least a touchdown. So I'm still rooting for Georgia, and I hope I'm wrong, and hopefully Georgia wins this one. But honestly, at the end of the day, if Georgia does not get that Bama game out of their head this close to the season right here, then we're not even going to make a semifinal, yet alone just a bowl game. Missouri at Georgia. Honestly, this is where Georgia wins this one. We win this game right here by a long shot. Missouri is without Drew Lock, if I'm not mistaken now, and they're just really struggling on the offensive side of the ball, and the Georgia defense is going to take advantage of that. Georgia at Auburn, November 16th, 2019. I see Georgia winning this one. Jordan Ayers Stadium is going to be livid, honestly. It's going to be packed, sold out, and everything. And they're going to bring the noise. Really, to me, I think Jordan Ayers Stadium is like Seattle, the home of the 12th man, because everybody loves Auburn. Heck, I'm an Auburn fan whenever it comes to basketball, seriously, because I was rooting for them in the NCAA March Madness tournament. But, But Georgia Bulldogs, I do see them picking up the victory over in Jordan Ayers Stadium, at least by a 3-touchdown deficit. Texas A&M versus Georgia. Oh my God! If I was only into football whenever Johnny Manziel was there, I would have loved this. Or if Johnny Manziel just even went back to college, for Pete's sakes. But anyways, I don't see that happening. He's not going to do that. But anyways, Texas A&M versus Georgia. Texas A&M has just not been the same since Johnny Manziel, whenever he committed to the NFL and got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. I want to say 2014, might be the 2015 season. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. But anyways, Georgia wins this one right here by at least a 4 touchdown deficit, And then here comes the Battle of Georgia. Georgia at Georgia Tech. I really don't need to say anything. My math teacher, I'm not going to call out your name, but if you are watching this, go Dogs, because we're going to run over you big time. So, honestly, guys, I see us really having 2 losses out of the entire season. So, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, really, 10-2. 10-2 is what I see Georgia go in and out of the season with. And 10-2 is a slight advantage into the playoffs. Or excuse me, the semifinals for the college football playoffs. And I hope we get in, and it would have to depend on a Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma. I mean, it would have to depend on all of them, but at the same time, like I said, if I'm wrong on the Georgia-Florida game, then I really see us being 11-1, and honestly having a secured spot in the semifinals for the college football playoffs. Again, guys, that is my entire Georgia Bulldogs season prediction schedule right there. If you did enjoy today's YouTube edition of the MorganMan Sports Podcast, make sure to hit the like button down below right here. Leave your comments of why you think the Georgia Bulldogs, will win this season and go all the way to the Natty and win it. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, I already just said that. But till then, guys, Cole Morgan, catch you all later. Peace.